What is up, guys? My name's Jackal, and we are here for Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. I'm here about 2 hours, 3 hours-ish later than I wanted to be, but you know, next time on Laggin' Ball Z. But we're here for Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. We're here for Bojack Horseman. A little bit of discussioninos. Big stretch. And we're here for, we're here for this next dungeon. Ooh, yeah, new dungeon, the Lava Dome. Alright, so, let's get it cracking. We'll do a few fights before we start talking. Let's fight these fat, ugly birds. Oh, we got some ninjas. Oh, I forgot that's their like death state. Or their critical position, whatever you want to call it. Their critical position. No, don't fucking do that. Yeah, I gotta give Mama a ride to work in about 4 hours. Finish playing a little bit of this. Play some... Ooh. Alright, these guys hit pretty fucking hard, don't you? Don't you? Perfect. I had just enough. I was banking. I was like, I should have enough, right? Right. Alright, Alright, we got Tortoise. But play this. It's been a minute since I played Blaster Master. Nope, does not appear to be anything hidden. God, I love that this is the song. It's funny, after I get this crystal, I think I'm going to basically be going in this game blind. Because I think I only ever got... What was the third crystal boss? Isn't it a dragon? I feel like it's a dragon. I feel like it's kind of a stereotype that it would be a dragon for the fire crystal, but I believe it's a dragon. Fuck. Alright, there's a lot of you fuckers all around. I want to eliminate that. Ooh, we got some gold up here. Ooh. Of course, it's probably not going to be anything that I can do anything with. Ooh, we got the drop on them. I didn't even notice. Alright, might as well get on with the big talk, though. So, Bojack Horseman. Season 6, Episode 11. And, like other episode, or level episode, like other episodes, in other seasons, this Episode 11 it wasn't trippy like some of the other episodes were. You know, season 1, 3, 4, and 5 were all like pretty trippy episodes. This one was much closer to like season 2, where it wasn't really a trippy episode, but it was rough nonetheless. Except this one wasn't like, oh my god, are we about to see some like basically some fucking pedophilia going on here. But it wasn't. This was a different... This one was just gut-wrenching. That's what this one was. This one just felt bad because, you know, I don't know if I actually made this remark ever on this channel. I don't actually know. But I know to my best friend who, you know, I'm kind of watching it alongside with him. Nice. I was hoping that was going to work. Okay, I don't want to waste another bomb. But, you know, I've been talking with my best friend about, you know, the episodes that we watch him and shit. And... Ouch. Oh, well, okay. And I think I remember making a remark one time that, you know... Because I don't know why. I always forget the voice actor's name of Bojack Horseman. Like, I always forget his name. And... Ooh, old boy's got life, finally. All right, the white magic list is complete. Fucks yeah. But I don't know why I always forget the voice actor's name. But he's, you know, I'm sure anybody who's watching this will probably recognize his voice, especially if you're online any bit. His voice actor is the guy who does the commercials for Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. I'm always seeing his commercials on YouTube. And I'm like, you know, I really, because, you know, I think I said this at a point when Bojack was, like, at his lowest, or, like, at one of his lows. And I'm like, you know, I really hope by the end of this, Bojack can just live a nice, quiet life and, just do fucking Reese's commercials for the rest of his life. And honestly, this episode got me thinking that, like, that actually might be the case. Like, that actually might be what happens here. Because, I mean, Bojack's on the verge of being ruined at this point. Like, he just got this job at Wesleyan College, and now there's going to be some... I don't even know if I would call it a hit piece, but, you know, an article that's going to be detailing his really shady past with Sarah Lynn before she died. So I don't think he's going to be able to keep that job, you know, to be totally honest. What? No! No! Alright, I'm going to do what I did again. Oh God, did I even save? Did I just fuck myself up royally? I hope I didn't. Cool, I didn't. Alright. I just don't want to be getting double experience. The way this game's set up, I haven't had to dual fight anything. So, it should be fine. I didn't fight too many battles, so I'm not too concerned. That I am concerned about, though. That is very concerning. You can use that all you want, though. But, you know, the longer and longer we go through the show, the more and more I feel like that actually might be the way that the show ends up. Because, you know, like I said, he's on thin ice. I don't see a college wanting to keep someone that comes out that, like, hey, you may have had something to do with the death of, you know, a fellow, in his case, a fellow famous celebrity. Like, even if there's, you know, Princess Carolyn makes a remark that, you know, even if he can't actually be legally implicated in this years down the line, like, it's all about, like they said, just painting and showing an overarching narrative. And, you know, unfortunately, it seems like the versions of the stories that these reporters are getting is kind of a skewed version of what Bojack has done. But the problem is that it's not like Bojack hasn't been really toxic and really and not just self-destructive, but destructive towards everybody around him. And even if these people are getting a less than favorable view of what Bojack has done compared to what actually happened, it's not like what Bojack ever did in these cases was good regardless. Thanks. But you know, like I said, there was the big thing with Penny. I was gonna say Charlotte, but I was like, wait, no, that's the mom. The thing with Penny, and you know, the story that not just that she was telling Pete repeat, but you know, the stories that a lot of people have been saying are always like these kind of half-truths, except for Mr. Peanut Butter. Mr. Peanut Butter probably told more of the truth, but that's just because Mr. Peanut Butter is too caught up in his own world to even think like that. There's a lot of little gremlins over here for me to kill. How dare you? Epic. I need something to drink. I am parched. But, you know, all the things Bojack's done through the years, you know, a lot of them just look really bad. They just look bad. And I mean, like, if you were an outsider looking in at all the shit that Bojack has done, you know, as a viewer of the show, we have a different view of Bojack because we get to see all of the details, not just about his life, but everyone else involved in his life. You know, we see the past that he grew up in, but, you know, not everybody has to value that. It's not necessarily incumbent on everybody else to take in absolutely all of your traumas into account to make way for your shitty behavior. You know, Bojack has shown enough of a tendency in his behavior to warrant more than just a little bit of scrutiny. You know, at this point, he's just been objectively like a harmful person. And we know enough to sympathize, and we know enough to look past a lot of that stuff, but, you know, that's only because we as the viewer are given that view of him. The rest of the characters in universe don't have that view of him because they don't know. And they don't have to know. Like, we don't know the troubled past of every single person who does every fucked up thing. Because there's a good chance that in all reality, most people who do fucked up shit have been a part of fucked up shit or have had fucked up shit done to them. But that doesn't really matter. And I mean, Bojack says it himself. You know what? This is about taking accountability. And at this point, he wants to. And that is at least commendable. Because, I mean, you know, we've watched him throughout this season come a really long way. You know, between being confronted with his old, his old behavior through the behavior of his, what was it? His rehab, his therapy horse, or whatever the fuck his actual title was supposed to be. Thanks, buddy. Ruben Fiesta. Alright, don't miss this time, please. Thank you. And, you know, I think I don't know if I've said this before, but I feel like I've made this remark, but it's something that, like, I've always talked about Bojack Horseman being kind of a predictable show, but not in a way that where it's like a deterrence to the show. The way in which it's predictable is like, it's because the predictability is like the people's choices, because you pretty much know what to expect of these characters, for better or worse. Because a lot of the characters, like, you know, especially when it comes to, you know, the main cast, you know, maybe not Todd so much, but, you know, Princess Carolyn, Diane, Bojack, Peanut Butter, a big thing with their characters is the fact that a lot of times they tend to make the same decisions over and over again. It's what plagues all of them. It's why they're all trying to grow in some way, except like Mr. Peanut Butter, but I don't even think he thinks he needs to grow. Which, again, is a problem all unto itself. You know, that's a part of his weird toxicity thing that he's got going on with himself. Jeez. Get rid of that guy. God damn. There's going to be a lot of enemies in these fucking places. But, you know, that's the way in which the show is predictable, where it's just predictable in the sense of when you learn what choices the characters tend to make, they tend to keep making them, and that's their fallback, or their drawback. But I mean, it's not just them. I mean, that's everybody. That's how most of us tend to behave. You know, not everybody makes the best decisions possible. A lot of us make a lot of fucked up decisions, and a big problem is our continual fucking up of those decisions. You know, it's not enough for us to make these decisions once or twice. We make them consistently. Most of us do. That's a bummer. Give that man life. Mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. That's not what I wanted to do. Cool. Wasting white magic charges for no reason. But, you know, we've seen Bojack come a long way from making the same decisions and the same mistakes that he's been making. And, I'm sorry, I'm trying to loop back up on previous points that, like, I left unfinished. One of the things that, you know, stuck out to me, especially when, you know, thinking about Bojack's journey is, you know, watching, because his past has always been brought up, you know, the thing with Penny, the thing with Sarah Lynn, these things have actually played pretty prominent roles throughout the seasons since they actually happened. And, you know, the way that I felt that things were going to progress in this is kind of how it ended up progressing. And, you know, again, because characters make the same decisions and they tend to keep falling into the same traps, you know, I knew Bojack was going to kind of start slipping back, and this kind of feels like what's going to pull him out of his successful recovery. Because this isn't just going to be a hit to him through his job. Like, this is going to take a toll on his mental state. But, like, at the same time, like, Bojack pretty much deserves this, you know? Yeah, he's trying to change and he's trying to turn over a new leaf, but what does that say of all the damage that you left behind you on your way here? You know, yeah, Sarah Lynn was an adult, and she was just as broken as Bojack, and, you know, should Bojack have known better? Yes, but at the same time, so should Sarah Lynn. You know, I don't think there's ever a way where I will never fully blame Bojack for the death of Sarah Lynn because of, you know, she had behavior involved in this as well. Damn! Damn. Confused as a motherfucker. Bro, these missing with Ruben, like, is killing me. I mean, most times it's actually killing him. Alright, cool. But I believe I made mention of this line before because it's from a fairly popular movie. It's from the first Doctor Strange. But as I've watched these past decisions with Bojack, like, slowly creeping up on him as this season has gone on, all I've thought to myself is the line from the end of Doctor Strange. What was his name? Mordo? When, you know, he told Steven, the bill comes due. Always. And that really feels like how I feel with Bojack this season here. It's just that, you know, yes, he is trying to help himself. And that is great. And he needs to. Even if this is like a dent in that plan, he needs to keep trying to fix himself. Because, I mean, what other choice does he have? But at the same time, what's that to say, like, about forgiveness and how much you should be forgiven for your past actions? You know, we always have the big problem of, you know, a lot of people, especially in Bojack's position, you know, it's not just that, you know, should they be forgiven? You know, I don't even think Bojack knows if he should be forgiven or not for all of this. Bro, where is this taking me? This better not be taking me the correct direction. I will have to go so far backwards. So far backwards. But I'm going to have a lot of enemies that I got to kill over the next couple videos, probably. After this, I'm going to save. In case I do the stupid fucking exit thing again. Like an idiot. And, you know, it sucks because, you know, there was a moment where after, you know, Bojack started realizing what was going on. One of the things I love is the show's use of sound and music in very subtle ways that will really drive home a point. And, like, there's a point where Bojack is, like, starting to get really defensive and get real panicky over what's going on. And to an extent, I understand, and rightfully so, like, he's not feeling good about this. He feels like he's being chased down, you know, by people trying to expose his past. But, you know, I also do get it You know, because it does go to say, now this, we're talking murder here. We're not talking, well, I don't know if I would say Bojack actually murdered Sarah Lynn. I would definitely say that he was a part of the decision for sure. All right, hold on. Give me a sec. All right, this should be better. Yeah, we were lagging just a little bit. Still feels like we kind of are, slightly. But I had somebody some guy who will leave comments every once in a while giving me Pokemon stats and stuff to help me out with my run and figuring out what to do. But anyway, you know, I don't know about necessarily in the eyes of the law, but like in the eyes of the public, like how much does Bojack actually deserve to be forgiven for a lot of this stuff? You know, that's a hard question. I don't really know the answer to that. Because, you know what, I mean, Diane said herself, like, it's not about, like, the legality. Like, this is this real sussy story going on here. That was not how that was supposed to go. Got to hit in because you're lucky. But, you know, it does, like, I do feel bad for Bojack that it's definitely going to feel like his past is coming up and trying to catch up with him. But, you know, all of this he brought on himself. You know, he had numerous times and chances all over to have made better choices and made a change for the better. But he ended up making a lot of the decisions that would come back to haunt him. But no, when it comes to like the music being used in subtle ways, like, you know, like I said, there was a time where Bojack was getting defensive and you understood, but there started to get to be like this loop that, you know, all of a sudden as Bojack starts to go on a little mini rant, you hear the piano keys hit and you can kind of hear the tone of everything start to change. And even Todd recognizes, like, are you sure you've changed? Because this sounds like old Bojack. But, like, you could tell, like, that sinister piano tone that they like to strike. To signify, like, you could tell Bojack was starting to loop into his old ways through this, I don't know if I would say confrontation, but through this ordeal. And, you know, Todd's right in that, you know, because the moment Bojack here is finding any sort of, like, I don't know if I would call it adversity, but like any sort of pressure, you know, his first thing is, oh, you know, I wonder if these reporters have any dirt on him. You know, like he starts thinking for ways to take them down instead. And in some very big old Bojack-y kind of behavior. And that's why I like that Todd even recognizes, like, hey, are you sure you've changed? Which, again, that goes to show, we know that, for the most part, Bojack has done a lot better and definitely does want to change. But that does show that he really does not need a very far push to start slipping back into his old mentality and his old ways. Nothing there. I mean, shit, it was so bad that, you know, Todd's over, or, you know, they were writing down all the fucked up shit that Bojack's done. And, you know, clearly he forgot about all the sabotage he did to Todd. And Todd ends up, like, writing it on the board while nobody's paying attention. And that was pretty heartbreaking to see. Because it obviously shows that Todd hasn't forgotten a lot of the fucked up shit that Bojack did, especially when Bojack was supposed to have been his friend. But, you know, Diane's not really willing to help with a lot of this, which she really shouldn't try to help with this. Like, what are you going to do? You just got to let it be. That's a dick move. And, you know, I do think, you know, because Bojack didn't deny it, but the way that he didn't deny, the way that Bojack actually kind of took blame for Sarah Lynn getting the heroin, I thought was commendable, but at the same time, I did think that was even a little unnecessary, because if I'm not mistaken, if I remember right, Sarah Lynn found the heroin and was like fully ready to do it. You know, that's why I said that I blamed her just as much as I did Bojack. You know, I don't think he realized that Sarah Lynn had been sober as long as she was. Because Bojack did show, even in his addict days, that he would be usually pretty willing to tell other people, like, you know, not to do things that would be a little more reckless to their health. You know, I don't think he, like, recommended Sarah Lynn, like, do the heroin as an addict. I don't think he was the one who convinced her to, you know, give up her sobriety. You know, she gave it up just as readily, just to, you know, hang out and be, you know, cool with Bojack. And, you know, that's tragic all on its own. You know, you don't need an extra layer to describe why that's so fucked up and heartbreaking. But, you know, at the same time, you know, she was an adult. She knew enough to get sober, and yet she allowed herself to slip right back into those same patterns. So I did think Bojack being like, yeah, I gave it to her. Like, I mean, you didn't stop her, but you didn't necessarily give it to her, which is a narrow but deep difference, because, you know, Bojack was just, you know, an addict doing addict things. And that doesn't mean that if there's not legal ramifications that he shouldn't face any. You know, if there's legal shit he's got to face for this, then so be it. I don't really have a hard time, like, making any definitive statements like that. You know, if he actually ends up being, like, potentially guilty of anything, then, like, he gets what he gets. But, you know, it being like this many years ago, and because it was like an overdose that they did together, I don't know if Bojack could be implicated in her killing in that way under those circumstances. But, you know, like Bojack said, he was really hoping this new place was going to be his lifeline, but, you know, that didn't work either. All right. Yeah, I think we're about done for the day. We have played quite a bit. Had to do a little bit of redo because I fucked up. Next time, hopefully next time we find the mighty dragon, because there are a lot of enemies in here, and I know there was that whole other area that at the very start that I went down that I still haven't even gone down yet. The area that I first cleared out. So, like, I feel like I'm very clearly going towards where the that door that I just opened is. So as soon as I explore the rest of this, I'm gonna just go back. I'm gonna backtrack and go down the other areas and kill all the baddie. I wanted to say baddies and bad guys, and I was never able to say either one of them. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today, guys. I don't really have too much else to say. This episode was just rough. It was rough. It was rough listening to Bojack give basically the eulogy to the dawning of his new career that is going to end up being cut short now. And is being cut short by his own past mistakes and decisions. You know, it doesn't matter how far you go in time. Some of these decisions you can't outrun. You can't outmaneuver a lot of these decisions. You know, it sucks that he had to have it, like, kind of revealed through Mr. Peanut Butter kind of being a shithead. But, you know, with Mr. Peanut Butter, you know, it's... The dude lives in his own world. He has a hard time imagining other people think or feel differently than he does about a thing. You know, it showed in the way that, you know, he was trying to, like... The way he was acting with Pickles, you know... Right after, you know, they talk about Pickles and Joey Pogo doing it, you know, he right away goes back to things being normal, or thinking things could be normal, like, right away. But, you know, he's so stuck in his own world that I don't think he even realizes, like, I could tell that, like, as soon as Mr. proposed the Joey Pogo Pickles hookup, I knew that she was going to run off with him. Like, that seemed like a pretty guaranteed thing to happen. But I was actually, you know, though I do think Mr. Peanut Butter is too much in his own head, as far as, like, he doesn't really, like, imagine, like, he can't imagine that these reporters are really, like, trying to do an actual takedown of Bojack, because, you know, he views Bojack so favorably. You know, these reporters, how could they possibly think differently? And it's why he ends up, like, revealing so much damning information, because, you know, what could they possibly want with Bojack? You know, that's his cool, nice, awesome, friendly buddy. It's definitely interesting. You know, but shit like that always has a way of catching up with you in the future. You can't run from your past. You can't escape it. And, you know, when it comes fucking knocking, there's a part of you that's just got to kind of accept the consequences. Especially if it's something that you really had a hand in doing. Alright. Last battle, this room will be clear and we'll be good to go. Dope. Alright, hell yeah. Alright, game is saved. Alright, and that's going to be it for today, guys. Next time we come back, we'll hopefully finish clearing out basically most of this volcano. It's going to be so weird. Next Saturday is going to be like the last Saturday that I'll be recording one of these videos here at this house. After that, I'll be gone into a different crib. Exciting times we got, yo. But I'll talk to you later, guys. Actually, I'm probably going to record another video here in like probably like 20-30 minutes. So I don't know what I'm going to play. It'll probably be Metroid. So see you in a bit, guys.